We begin here with fierce floods in parts of the capital region, specifically starting in Fort Plain. That's where police are requesting help now from Homeland Security as crews are searching for people possibly swept away by today's storm. The Otsquago Creek spilled its banks, completely swamping the town. Some areas were completely submerged underwater with entire streets destroyed by the flooding. Now, our Craig Smith is in Fort Plain tonight. Craig, I know you met one family who now is scrambling to find a missing loved one.
Well, they are, Dory. I believe many family members in that clan, though, are presuming that their loved one was lost. I'll tell you about here in just a minute. Let me show you first where I am. This is Abbott Street. Only a matter of minutes ago did this reopen, so this is the first chance we've had to show you the damage here. And this is a dead-end street, but this is not supposed to be the dead end. There's pieces of broken pavement here that have come down from upstream. We've got cinder blocks here from someone's residence. Way back here, a little kid's Santa plate for cookies, a kid's shovel. No, that's the smaller shovel for smaller jobs, it seems. It's metal, glass. Here's the car that it almost looks like it survived this disaster, but not quite. There are several cars we've heard that actually got washed downstream. But perhaps the saddest story here in Fort Plain is the apparent loss of an 87-year-old woman who lived here on Abbott Street. Her home was washed away, and her family members are saying she was swept away as well. Her former son-in-law is Richard Brown. He's the owner of the Dome 49 restaurant here in Fort Plain. He tells the story of Healey, Ethel Healey, trying to get out of her house this morning at 6 a.m., but not being able to because the water was rising so quickly. And now Brown and other people who know Healey tell me she hasn't been heard from all day long. And Healey's neighbor also lives here on Abbott, of course, and he told me that he was up at 6 a.m. getting ready to go to work. He looked out and saw his neighbor's garage turning 90 degrees.
And then all of a sudden I can feel like the mobile home that I'm in, you can feel it start to lift up, and I'm like, we got to get out of here.
Stephen Weber's a 35-year-old contractor who lost everything. Says he never saw water rise so fast. It wiped out his business, his home, and his neighbors' homes.
I didn't have no flood insurance. All my neighbors next to me didn't have flood insurance. So, I mean, there's about half a dozen houses down there or more that have no flood insurance, and they're gone.
When police closed a bridge, it became a problem for one man who demanded he be allowed to cross to get some insulin.
Because I don't have my insulin. I didn't even think about it today.
I'm going to ask you to calm down. I'll come back in 5 minutes. I got to talk to somebody. I'll be back. Okay, we're going to help you out. The bridge itself here is structurally, we're told, is okay, but we have a propane tank that we are trying to remove before we're going to feel comfortable letting the public come across.
In the downtown area, it seems nearly every building had a hose running from the basement. Pumps in a race with water that even then was still coming in through the ground. Along the curbs, images reminiscent of Tropical Storm Irene's damage in other towns, and also the flood of 2006 here in Fort Plain. Back then, Frank Kassab showed us how he lost his whole first floor. This time he was more fortunate.
I didn't lose nothing except the hot water heater right now. So it's electrical. I'm hoping they'll dry out. It'll be okay. So if that's the worst that could happen, what can you do?
We've had floods here before, but not this bad, I don't think. I think this is the worst, actually.
Well, it sure looks like it's among the worst from where I'm standing. We are the only ones on Abbott Street at the moment. That's partly because there's a curfew in effect in Fort Plain tonight. That's been in effect since 8 o'clock. The police are hoping everyone in town observes that so the police can keep the area safe and help get the area cleaned up. The crews that were working here under that bridge getting the propane tank out have left. The tank's been removed. That danger, if there ever was a danger, has now been removed. Workers will be here from the state DOT at 6 in the morning to get started again. The Red Cross volunteer I spoke with at the elementary school here that's serving as a shelter told me they expect about 36 people will be spending the night there tonight. And as for Ethel Healey, there are search crews out. Her family tells me the search for her began around 8:30 or so tonight, and the police chief tells me there are other residents here who are not accounted for. They're still looking for them as well. We're live here in Fort Plain. Craig Smith, CBS 6 News.